I spent some time just looking at the economy that we live in and the reality of most people, particularly Gen Zs, and I have found some rather concerning statistics that kind of explain why so many people feel like life is just so difficult right now. More so than even just financially as well. So let's go ahead and dive in to the 5 reasons why it is so difficult for so many people. And hopefully you can relate to this. This will make you feel a little bit better because you're not the only one feeling this way. Trust me. I'm 25 years old. I've had to work very, very hard to get myself off of the ground, and man, it's a difficult thing to do. So first and foremost, the cost of living. You may know it's bad, but you may not realize just how bad it really is. I'm going to run through some of the general cost to live, some of the expenses you kind of have to incur no matter what if you're just going to be existing in America today. So first and foremost, the average rent, $1,624. Average used car payment, I don't want to be using anything that's unnecessary, so no new cars. Average used car payment, $529 per month. Average car insurance, $166 per month. Average cost of gas driving to and from work for most people, $150 per month. Utilities, $400 per month. I've really gotten to incur that since moving to Fort Lauderdale. Average cost of groceries, and this includes like toiletries and all that, $700 per month. Average student loan payment, $536 per month. Some of these may apply to you, others may not. You may not have a student loan payment, and better thank God that you don't, because, well, if you're the average person today, your cost to literally just survive is $4,105 per month. That equates to $49,260 per year. $49,260 per year. Now, if that's not really resonating with you about how concerning that number is, it will in just a second. Because the second reason that life feels so difficult for many people is the median income. Right? The cost of living has exploded, incomes have not. So if you're 25 years old, if you just told me you were 25, I would expect you to have a median income of $41,150. That's about $8,000 below what it costs to survive. Not to mention, that $41,150 median income I just gave you is gross income. Don't you kind of need to pay taxes and save for retirement? You kind of do. So immediately, if you're the average person or the median person today really cannot get anything done. They cannot make any progress. Now, again, if they don't have student loans, if they don't have a car payment, many do, but if they don't, again, that's gonna cut it down to likely right around what their median income is. Still, though, that raises cause for concern regarding saving for retirement or being able to really enjoy life, right? Which, as a little bonus point, again, another reason why it feels so difficult for so many people right now is because the stuff I just read to you is just stuff to survive. A huge part of living is having fun, going to the movies, maybe taking a ski trip once a year. A lot of that stuff is simply out of the equation unless the person is willing to go into debt. And that causes a whole new level of difficulty in terms of you feeling hope and waking up and feeling motivated. If you're heading in the red, you're likely not waking up with positive emotions. Now, if you're 30 years old, the median income is $60,000. Now we're talking, again, this is still gross income though. And so after taxes, it depends on the state, depends on the circumstances, person, wherever they live, all that. But you're likely going to be taking home $48,000 to $50,000 after taxes, which is just at what it costs to survive. Remember the number, $49,260, just based off the average lifestyle, the average person. And again, we're not accounting for things like travel, stuff to enjoy life. This is just the average cost for somebody to survive. And looking at the median income, again, even for a 30-year-old after taxes, it drops their actual net take-home pay to right at or just below what it costs for the average person to survive. And that's the point of this conversation, is about the cost to survive, not the cost of doing luxuries, enjoying luxuries in life. Because that's separate, right? The whole point of looking at the median cost of surviving and then what the median income is to be able to see, can people expect to afford a house? Can people feel free and feel hope? Hope is being able to save in hopes for the future of having freedom and independence, right? Having enough money to do whatever you want, not being tied down to a 9-to-5 job, and with no margin between what is actually hitting the bank account, what they're taking home, and what is forced to go out every month just to survive. Not only does that not leave room for enjoying things in life, but also no hope for independence in the future, freedom in the future, or how about affording a house? Because again, if you're in that rent cycle, and you have all these average expenses with a median income, which the median person is the typical person you'll see walking around in line at the grocery store. They're more than likely in this circumstance. And it could be you too, and you have to get out. And the only way to get out at this point is by increasing your income. I've made a couple videos talking about how to do that, how I've done that, and I'll make many more, because I don't just want to, like many YouTube channels do nowadays, just complain and talk about problems and never provide any solutions. I do not want to be one of those channels. I definitely want to help provide solutions. Let's move on to point number 3. You can already see the first 2 reasons are a pretty massive problem for why life feels so hard. If you have no hope for the future in terms of gaining independence and freedom from being tied down to work, that's a problem. If you don't have any margin to be able to enjoy fun things in life, and you can still have fun without spending, you can go for a walk, you can go for a hike, but even the extra drive it may take to drive to the mountains might not fit in the budget. So that's a problem. But you can still have fun without spending money, absolutely. But it just shouldn't be this tight, and it is. This is the reality of 2026 at this point. Number 3, and this is a big one, it's kind of like if we're forming a milkshake, we just talked about the ice cream and the milk blended together. Throw the whipped cream on top and you have social media. I mean, just this morning, I was scrolling through YouTube, trying to find some videos to watch, and I found another person in Miami who's 18 years old that is just living a lifestyle I couldn't even really fathom. Spending absurd amounts of money, more than I could spend by far, even though despite I feel like I have a really good income, good savings, good job, but no, absolutely no shot. And it makes me feel like I'm failing. And if you're able to survive, pay these expenses and have some margin, I mean, immediately you should feel grateful. You need gratitude. But for those that aren't in a position of having margin, that are stuck, tied down, and literally can't escape. They literally can't even, they don't have the room to save money to build an escape net in the future. Then they hop on social media, and it's so easy to find people that are so many levels above that. It just adds to the hopelessness almost. It can definitely be a source of motivation. But being able to just click a couple of buttons and see someone younger than you in a Lamborghini doesn't necessarily help. There's levels to improving your life, and you can't really just skip 10 levels. It's one at a time. So it's kind of unhealthy to be looking at someone that many levels above you and compare yourself to that person. I think a healthy level of comparison is looking at one step above you and then getting to that next step, then looking one step above that, getting to that next step. But social media has made it way too easy to find someone 10, 20 steps above you, and that's your benchmark for success. It's a problem for me too. It's not easy to overcome. I think just stepping away from social media, which I do every once in a while, is really one of the only antidotes, if you will, to solving that problem. Number 4, distractions. Guys, you look at the income problem, you look at the cost of living problem, and you see on social media all these people succeeding, and it makes you want to succeed, obviously, right? All those reasons make you want to succeed. They make you want to increase your income. They make you want to do better. They make you want to build a better physique with your physical body. But I want you to know that social media, all these apps, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the way these algorithms are designed is they reward creators that are able to keep viewers hooked on the video. They only promote videos, like shorts, TikToks, long form videos, whatever. The social media platform only further pushes content out that gets people to watch for long periods of time. Therefore, it only pushes out addictive content. I want you to really think about that. With how many creators there are, and how many are competing to make money online and have their content go viral, you have so many people working full time, their hardest, their smartest, to get you to watch their videos, and you have the platform learning what you like and presenting content that they know will keep you hooked. It is damn near like a drug. And most people do not look at it that way. The algorithm is designed to keep you hooked, just like a drug. Shorts, I could go very in depth about this. Short form content. The viral content goes viral because it produces emotions. Emotions get people to watch till the end of the video. If you're not experiencing any emotions, you're likely not going to be. You're going to get bored. You're not going to watch the video. So with shorts doing that, it takes you on this emotional roller coaster. It messes with your head if you watch too much of it. And it keeps you emotionally addicted. And so I would argue social media and your phone is the number one biggest distraction that exists today. But you also obviously have things just like overall overthinking, stress with the reality of the previous 3 things we just talked about: social media, cost of living, and the problem with income compared to the cost of living. You have drinking, you have drugs, you have all the news and all the panic and all the what ifs. That is a big problem. And again, with a phone and a computer just so easily accessible, even while you're at work, it makes it difficult to stay focused and to work. So I'll put an end to number 4. And number 5 kind of is the cherry on top of all of this. Greed. You have private equity firms buying up companies just to squeeze out profit. Greed. You have people struggling to be able to survive. They're forced into being greedy. If they're not, they're kind of doing that at the detriment of their own self, life, and family. And so I feel like, let me know in the comments if you agree, but I feel like the reality of the economy and everything going on is just leading to this. Everyone feels a bit more uptight because they are, and this greediness that's happening around us just it makes for, I don't know, a different feeling, if you will. That one, it's a little bit more difficult to describe, but I would also combine the greed with all the stuff on social media, knowing like when you're out there doing something, you could be like recorded or captured and it's going to be out there forever. It's just more difficult, more almost scary to like go out there and embarrass yourself because that's part of learning and failing. It's inevitable. You're going to feel embarrassment. I think that's fine. You have to come to accept that ultimately, but you have to have some tough skin to accept that and have that not bother you. And just again, adding on to the point with social media, it's difficult knowing that can be out there forever. I think it just makes for a lot of people, it makes it more difficult to operate, if you will. With that being said, let me know if you guys can relate to these points. If you have any other things that you would add on to why it feels so difficult to just kind of like live nowadays, drop them in the comments. It's not just you, don't worry. But also do know you are strong enough to overcome it. It's always been a struggle, by the way. If you were born 200 years ago, you wouldn't have any of the creature comforts that we have today. So this should not be all complaints, but you do want to look at the reality and start developing a roadmap to overcome this stuff as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck and be going further and further behind. Appreciate you for watching. Many more to come. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.